All right, I wanted to discuss the concept and idea of the chosen ones and the black sheep of the family, how this plays into the generational curse. There's also the planetary curse that was caused from the fall of Atlantis, and how we can perceive this as individuals that resonate with this, how it actually works, and how you can begin working to clear it, okay, liberate yourself from that structure. So essentially what happens is there's usually a highly sensitive individual is born into a family system that is corrupted with either a generational or ancestral curse, and or it could be both. The planetary curse has been entangled with the family structure, okay? I've discussed this before, but families, as we have our own energy field, our own structure, our own multi-dimensional field, families also have that. So do couples, so do cities, so do countries, etc. So do planets, so do galaxies, solar systems. It all has a structure that functions within a multi-dimensional structure, okay? So if you're born into a family that is carrying this entangled curse energy, and you're highly sensitive, an evolved soul, a lot of times your purpose within that family is to clear the curse energy, to dissolve it, okay? But you can't do that within the family structure, okay? So what happens is you will go through a long period until you wake up to the corruption in that field, feeling like you don't fit in, you don't belong, you don't have a place within the world, within your family. And a lot of times this manifests as drug abuse, self-abuse, self-neglect, getting into abusive relationships. The sensitive, you could be a light worker, a starseed, you could resonate with some of those, will be kind of outcasted from the family because their system, energetic system, does not fit within the family system. Okay, sometimes it doesn't fit with a city or a country even. It just doesn't fit where it was birthed, and that is so that it can rewrite those codes, okay? So essentially the family's field is corrupted by an active generational curse. The family structure itself holds an inverted resonance, okay? So I used to be one of those people that was like, if you don't believe in curses, they don't exist. Until I got into the energy healing, the ascension path was shown everything that I've been shown, especially the past 6 to 9 months. Seeing how this works on a subconscious level, how it works on an energetic level. And what I was shown is that there's these threads of dark energy that can entangle into the energy field, okay? And what they do is they pull on the subconscious mind of the black sheep or the chosen one to try to force them to fit into the family system, even though that is not an organic system for them to fit into, okay? So essentially your role is to collapse the inverted structure. You can do this by refusing to be led by the corrupted field, even when it brings pain, isolation, or misunderstanding. So those threads will try to pull you back into the subconscious field of resonance over and over and over throughout your life. A lot of times there's early childhood abuse, neglect, just because you don't fit in. It's almost like the animals that reject their young. It's almost like that, only we're humans. So I mean, people can do that, and they do that. Hopefully that hasn't happened to anyone. But if it has, it's because your system is so much more evolved, okay? And so your job is to hold the resonance of your field within your DNA and your energy field to clear and heal yourself. And by doing that, you begin dissolving the cords and the threads and the entailment within the family, okay? Everyone has free will, so you can't force your family to perceive things the way you are, or the city or whatever structure you don't fit into. You have to just work on your own energy field, clearing out your blocks, your distortions, any early childhood wounding or trauma, And then you can get into the little micro distortions that are sitting in the field, okay? So most black sheep carry fractured root chakras from birth. This destabilization forces them to rebuild their own foundation outside of the family's corrupted architecture. Again, we have this feeling of being outcasted. And because of that feeling, the root fracture actually carries forward into the rest of your life. It's very hard to survive within the world, to make money, to ground, to anchor, to find your place within the world. That's because of that fractured root. That's a gift and a blessing, because once you heal it, you can rebuild that structure to help not only yourself, you can heal your own DNA, which will then heal the ancestral line, okay? Healing happens piece by piece. Every small return to truth restores coherence and gradually rebuilds the root. If delayed, stagnation deepens. So the sooner you begin the healing process, the better off you're going to be, okay? It is not one quantum healing session and then you're fine. It is little by little by little by little until everything has cleared out, okay? The Atlantean curse, which was the fall around 25,000 years ago, there was a seed planted in the planetary core. This curse actually expanded out into the planetary field and affects families, cities, geography, certain areas on the planet negatively. That seed has been completely annihilated, but there are still lines of this dark energy throughout family systems, personal systems, city, states, etc. Okay, they're not necessarily active unless humans are keeping them active and alive. Okay, so if they're feeding this dark energy, then it can stay alive. So this curse remains subtly active. So this depends on if it's a generational ancestral curse or the planetary curse. Hidden beneath the surface, but dissolves gradually through consistent healing and presence. Okay, so the more healing you do, the better. And I can actually see these now, so we can go in and dissolve all of them and seal the field. Okay, the disentangling process happens in phases. There's the energetic untangling and healing. This is clearing hooks and refusing old resonance. So you'll notice as you move through the healing process, you will feel these. It's like a sharp pain where a hook releases, okay? And those release when you refuse to go back into the old structure, the old subconscious beliefs, the old system, okay? Eventually they have nothing to hook into, okay? So you have to work on all levels of your being, the physical body, the mental field, emotional field, and the spiritual resonance, building the light body. And eventually these will just start unhooking as well, okay? Physical separation, so you can create distance when the time is right. If you're having a hard time holding and maintaining your own field, physical distance is sometimes recommended. It depends on your situation. If you can hold your resonance around and within the family field, you shouldn't need to do that, but some people do until all the subconscious threads have completely dissolved. Once that happens, then you can be around those people, the family system or city, etc. But you still have to be very conscious and aware of what's going on in your energy field, okay? There is a need to focus on building new foundations, gathering with resonant people to form a coherent field. So after you release the old structure, there's a need to start resonating and looking for those that hold a similar resonance to you and begin working with those. And these are people that will see your value, see your worth, be compassionate, understanding, supportive, not competitive, not abusive. They are genuinely compassionate beings with a radiating field of compassion and love, and you will meet eye to eye and have a mutual respect between both of you, or the new field or the new structure, okay, the new family, okay? So that's something that you will be working towards as you're clearing and releasing these, okay? Timing is sacred. When the black sheep's own structure is strong enough, divine timing opens through exiting. So exiting the old field, illusions of the old field dissolve, and you will step fully into your own architecture. So as essentially what happens is you have to build a new structure for your reality, okay? Through mental, emotional healing, physical healing, clearing all shadows, distortions. As you're doing that, you're restructuring a new field to live in and thrive in. And as you're doing that, the old field that you are connected to, that was built around distortions, begins collapsing. Okay? Once the new field is strong enough, then you can exit the old field and begin functioning as a sovereign being, not entangled with these old distortions, okay? Organically, there's going to be some abandonment issues, feeling isolated as you're building this new structure, creating resonance with new beings and people, etc. And a lot of that abandonment is actually inner child wounding from growing up in an environment that you are outcasted from the beginning, and you spent most of your life trying to fit into the structure that you don't fit into, okay? So every phase of pain, feeling broken, unseen, unworthy, is actually the marker of your role. You are the ones who are chosen to heal what was spoiled in the ancestral line, okay? So all of that comes up because there's a distortion that you feel innately, very sensitively, and because of that, you were chosen to heal it within yourself first, to thrive, and then what happens is the DNA heals and the entire ancestral line heals, okay, once you heal it within yourself, and that happens through entanglement, okay? You don't have to force anyone to do anything, to change anything like that, but what will happen is as the generational line or ancestral line continues evolving and growing through generations, those children will not have that same distortion, okay? People can do whatever they want. If they choose to hang on to it, that's their prerogative. Your job is to build the new structure to anchor it and hold it strongly, okay? So the end result is not just for survival, but breakthrough and vitality. You emerge as a coherent being, anchoring a new field of enthusiasm, integrity, and truth for yourself and the generations that follow, okay? That's what we just covered. So it's all about your energy, your DNA, building that new structure, okay? So how do you start working on this? Start with the healing path, okay? I have a very specific healing modality. We start with clearing and opening all the chakras, clearing every level of the field, raising your frequency. The more your frequency rises, the deeper you can go into minor distortions, okay? And so it happens at the same time. So you elevate and you clear, and you elevate and you clear, okay? Once we get into the higher fields of resonance, then we get into what I'm now calling more psychic surgery, and we go in and can remove seeds or threads or distortions on a very subtle level. And that's when everything begins clearing. There is absolute liberation, and you can move into this phase of enthusiasm and vitality, okay? It's really about starting the process of healing most of you already have. Know that it can be a long, arduous task. There is support for you out there if you need it. Please feel free to reach out at any point, and sending you all so much love.